back on the engine stand here, so I can rotate it around. I need to be start disassembling the bottom side oil pan, and I started on the front here, removed the engine mount. This rubber here is rotting. I believe that's still available, and I will be replacing that. But I need to get the timing chain cover off and start disassembling that. The harmonic balancer bolt felt like it was torqued to 40 foot-pounds. Came off pretty easy, and I actually pulled this off by hand. I don't know if it's supposed to. All the books I was reading was saying that I was going to need a harmonic balancer puller or just like a 3-jaw puller to pull it off. It came right off. I'll have to check that, see if that's okay, normal. I'm guessing this seal has been probably leaking for a while. Probably every seal on this thing, actually. So I will be pulling that next. I got the oil pump here that will have to come off. And then before I rotate it to do anything underneath, I'm actually going to need to pull all the lifters out of here. They all seem to be really good condition. Lift most of them up and they just fall right back down. Now that I have the valve guides out, I can actually pull these out from the top just fine. And yeah, most of these are really good condition, from what I understand. No major wear on the bottom. A couple of them had. I've only pulled probably 6 of them, and maybe one had some. You could tell where it was worn. You could barely feel it, but now these are in actually pretty good condition. So obviously I got to pull them out, but so far they are doing just fine. Putting it back in, I'll let it pull it back out. So I'm assuming I need to mark all these, bag them up. I'm assuming they go back in the same spot, but I don't think they need to. My motto is, though, if they were working where they were, put them back in where they came from. Some of the parts that I have pulled out are on my workbench here. Harmonic balancer, like I said, just came right off. Bolt wasn't terribly tight. Covers, vent. Here's the engine mount, and this rubber is just absolutely just rotted. Like I said, I believe I can get most of the rubber components for this car are available, and that seems like probably one that's should be fairly readily available. Okay, all these bolts out, down there. None of these are fine thread. This one here, up here, is actually a nut and a bolt. All the rest are just bolts. And then along this bottom plate, they're actually up through the oil pan into this flat bar that's threaded. So that's what it's actually bolting all the way through and sucking the oil pan up, and then the bottom part of this backing plate, or timing chain cover. Pretty simple setup here. I'm going to pull this off and we'll see what kind of mess this makes. Okay. Let's see here. Not rusty, just years of driving. Oh, I'll get in here. Oh, I'm guessing that seal, if it came off that easy, was not sealing very good. Once again, I think all these parts are available. Actually, that just, I think that floats in there. Because the timing chain cover may move a little bit on these bolts. So I believe this is actually designed to sort of float. I was looking at a different model and they were actually talking about using a feeler gauge to center the timing chain cover when you put it on. But judging, this may be a newer design, because I'm pretty sure they were talking about having to center it, and I thought it was on this year, this model, but could be wrong. Okay, timing chain cover off. Timing on here. It's got a little point there. I believe this one's in the valley here, and then if you look at this one, it's at the point, and it should point right at that valley when we're in time. Now, I was also reading something about the oil pump. We need to clock it also. So for the oil pump gear also runs the distributor, which mounts right here, and from what I understand, it has to be clocked. So I did make notes, and I don't know if I can get it in this camera. Maybe if I zoom in and get the focus. No. Yeah, I don't think I can quite get it to focus. I got my camera too, but not the video camera. So there's on the end of the distributor, there's a little flat piece, and it's at probably an angle like this. And I can actually look down in there. I got pictures of it at the angle it's at, and that all clocks onto the bottom of this distributor right here. The nut on the cam has a crown nut, I guess you'd call it, or a crown washer, bent over, easy enough. Pretty common for things you want retained. For the shade tree mechanics out there, make sure you have an 1 7/16 wrench, something you can get on there pretty good. I happen to have a 3/4 inch socket set on, and 1 7/16, kind of odd. 1.5 inches way too loose. 1 3/8 way too small. This one fits a little sloppy, but it's probably the high quality of this socket and the manufacture of it. So it popped loose. I just wrapped on the handle. I didn't use an impact. I just wrapped on the handle of the wrench with the hammer, and it popped loose. So ready to remove it. So we got those. Got a keyway here. This I tested earlier moves. I'm actually just going to pull that key out. It's actually a Woodruff key. It's good to know. Set that down there. There we go. Comes right out. Obviously I'll be cleaning all this up, but I'm trying to keep it together as I set it aside. And then just kind of looking at, that's most likely a Woodruff key too. Yeah, just needs a good cleanup. This engine did run before it was left sitting for probably 25 years, and then the mice climbed in the exhaust and the urine and that rusted it out. But so we are out of time now, so I've really done it. Make sure I gotta get this thing back together, timing on and all. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep digging in deeper. Pump here, let's see what kind of mess this makes. There we go. I'm guessing there's got to be a gasket on there, but oh yeah, there it is. There's the flat spot that I was trying to show down the other side where the distributor locks into. There's some little sludge. So far everything on the lower end of this is looking okay, just needing a clean. I can hear it trying to pump. It did have oil pressure, but I don't remember 25 or 30 years ago what kind of oil pressure it had. That oil doesn't look too bad. Okay, I already busted these loose. These felt like they were torqued down pretty good. They made a little crack when I loosened them. No. A brass plate. I guess designed to take wear, but there's really, that should clean up pretty good. There's like no wear. I mean, I have my gloves on, but with my fingernail through there, I don't even feel an edge on that, where the end of this cam would come up and hit that. Huh. Alright. Well, that's good. I'm guessing this cam will come right out. You know what? I'm probably going to have to take the oil pan off. I just was seeing if that would come out, but I really want to see how the lobes look on this. But my next plan was anyways of flipping this thing over, pulling the oil pan, and that's really, I need to be able to support the full length of it on, and so I'll be able to reach into the engine. So that will be my next step here. Okay. Bunch of bolts. Yep. I will get to it. Okay. Oil pan's ready to come off. Bunch of bolts on there. Taking off with this insufferable impact. It's missing the detent, so every bolt you come loose and the extension falls off. Every single one. I know third world problems, but that's still pretty ridiculous. Oil pan's ready to come off. It should come off pretty easy. I already kind of like picked the corner a little bit. The last time this was rebuilt was probably before RTV silicone sealants and stuff like that were ever used. So chances are it's a paper gasket. Who knows what they used? Bubble gum to hold it together back then. Okay. The big reveal. That's pretty gross. I'll maybe try to get you to take a closer look here. Not a ton of sludge. I mean, it's gross, but for these old engines, they didn't have, they have, I believe, a bypass oil filter, so they just filter some of the oil. So these engines did get pretty gross inside, and really about 1/8 of an inch layer on the very bottom, to be expected for an engine that ran for a while. And was I believe this was a daily driver for a little while. Set this down and get you to come in for a closer look here. So that's what I mean. That looks pretty pretty bad. You can see there's a little hole there. I know the mice got into the exhaust, but I don't think they chewed through that. Who knows what that is, but pretty sludgy. I'm not even sure. I don't think I ever saw any pictures of how the oil pump pickup even looked like on these, other than some maybe grainy old black and white in an old highly duplicated service manual. So very, very interesting. Nothing else here peeking out. And we'll come in and maybe give the connecting rods there's a little bit of movement that way. Not much. We're talking, let's see. Yeah, it's maybe 5/1000ths that way. I'll have to look to see what spec is, or the allowable tolerances, but I don't know. Gonna quickly go through and check the rest, but I'm not feeling anything bad on this. Okay, I'm going to try to get this oil pickup taken off of here. And so there's just 2 bolts here, but this thing's not coming loose. Once again, I didn't really see a diagram of how this thing even works. And there's the, yeah, it's pretty sludgy. Pretty sludgy. This pin just bent right there. That just holds this in. I suppose as long as your oil level's above where the worst of the sludge is, you were still getting oil to the engine. But this is, it's kind of hard to get light behind it. But at the bottom of this, pretty sludged up. Looks like we have a cotter pin there. Pop that real quick. Spring retainer. And so the thing pops right off. And then this has a little nut down there. I'm going to have to bust loose, but I'm going to have to get right in front of the camera to do that. Okay, so this is just it's like a compression fitting. Well, it is a compression fitting. So you get it to the position you want, and then you tighten that nut up. So pretty simple design. I'll kind of show you down inside here. You can get here, since I pulled the cam out a little bit, we can actually see the main, or the guide surface, the bearing, and then the lobes here. I'm going to try to get this out next. I'll kind of go down this thing here, but I'm going to need both hands. So it's ready to slide on out of here. So I'll pull the cam out of here. this out. Gotta get the lobes. Try not to bang it around too much. Come on, there we go. These bearings will actually seem pretty good. Okay, there's the cam. I don't know if these engines were really notorious for cam lobe wear or anything like that. They look pretty good. Bearing surfaces look pretty good. Yeah, all the lobes look pretty good. So I'll just clean her on up, but I think this is a good cam. Okay, just to show, this engine has obviously been apart, which is not surprising since it's almost 90 years old. We've got, if you can see those, looks like eight little set marks. And this one here, got 7. This one here, 6 little dots. 5, 4, 3, what do we got here? 2, and get some light on this one. Where are we at? Right down there. There's one little dot there. So this is obviously been apart before, and they already marked it for me. Okay, pulled the first one out of there. That is unique. I don't think I realized that the pistons had a cut down the skirt. Huh. Okay. Bearings actually don't look very bad, and the crank journal looks excellent. So guess I'll pull the rest out. This never had a knock or clunk or anything to it, but you can see the carbon built up on that piston. Carbon and maybe some, I don't know, seeds and mouse urine and other stuff, but the rings move. Yeah. Not too bad. Well, 5 minutes later, I've got all the connecting rods out. Here was the last one I pulled out. There's the old bearing. It does have X10 on it, and I haven't looked at them all yet, but I did. A couple of them came off, and they did say the same thing, X10. I don't know if that means they're 10 thousandths over. I have not checked what these the clearances are in these journals yet, so I should be able to compare that and see. Maybe this was ground down years ago when it was rebuilt, and it was set up with the 10 over bearings. Here's all the pistons, connecting rods, bearings, Everything looks pretty good. There's a few of these bearings that, like this one here. Let's see if I can zoom in. You can see where some of the, come on, focus. There you go. You can see where a little bit of the Babbitt material has flaked away. And when I was pulling it off, there were little bits of that Babbitt material stuck to the journal. But the journal's in good shape. Babbitt's soft, so little bits like that aren't really going to hurt. They can just potentially plug up small little ports if they were to get loose and get into the ports that feed portions of the bearings. So other than that, everything looks pretty good. All the pistons look good. I'll get the motor. Well, I still need to pull the crank out of here, but as you can see, just one hand, I can spin and it stays going. So it's looking pretty good. Just to make note for reassembly, for my sake, front bearing cap has 4 little marks on it facing the valve side. The second from the front. Come on, there you go, 3 little marks facing the valves. The center valve, or center cap, has 2 marks in it. So the center one facing valves, the little marks there. And then the 4th one in, this one has 1 little dot. I'll zoom in here, and it's actually facing the opposite side of the valves. Usually mechanics kind of go consistent, and then you can't really mess this one up. It can only go in one way and in one spot, so there's no markings other than the looks like an IC or LC right there. But that should be pretty easy to figure out. So I'm actually ready to pull the crank out of here. Main bearing journal, not very bad. Well, this back bearing, this is a little tough to get out. So it's got the a rubber seal right here that I thought, or maybe it's graphite. I thought they were graphite. It's kind of an interesting design though. I thought it had a like a graphite rope gasket that went like halfway around and then you stuck the other half in here, but looking at this, it looks like it just has like an oil slinger in here, and then that just drains. This was sitting in like this, so the oil slings into this chamber here. The oil that gets by the bearing hits this here and then slings into here, which then drains into or back into the oil sump through here. This is the motor side. So interesting design. That's not what I was, it didn't seem to be what I was reading. But maybe I'm getting a different engine mixed up. So I should be able to pull the crank out of here now. Okay, crank's out of here. It's actually in really good shape. And we'll come over here. Bearings look pretty good. Journals look pretty good. These do have on the back side that same, what is it, X X10 OP. Not 100% sure what that means. Like I said, I'm going to have to look that up. So maybe this was oversized. So X10 on there. And this one has the thrust. And it's got a little bit of wear on it. If I can get, it's almost too bright. That's not too bad there. That is too bright. I'll show you all of these. This is the only one that doesn't, no, it does say X10 too. I didn't see that. I think my thumb was right there. And then this is the bearing caps that I pulled off. So this one here, like I said, has the center one. Has the thrust. You can see a little bit of gouge there. Everything's on this engine's looking pretty good so far, except the valves. Top side, pistons out, cylinders actually look really good. No gouges down any of them. A little bit of marks there, nothing that won't hone out. Actually, might actually be oil there. I don't think I even stuck my finger in there to feel it, but I don't feel any ridges. This one here, I think, is the only one that I could see those marks there, but I can't even feel them with my fingernail. So, otherwise, these are looking excellent. I don't know if I can. Really hard to get in there, but look at those cylinders. I haven't measured these yet to see if these are oversized or anything. So.